It's a Session. I'm your host, Michelle Nicole Charles. And on It's a Session, we highlight self-made boss women like today. Evvie's in the building. She is the winner of the first season of The Four. How you doing today?
I am blessed. I'm doing well. I just got back into LA, ready to work, and it's a blessing to be here with you.
Yes, and it's a blessing to have you.
Thank you.
So I like to just jump right into it. So how did you find out about The Four? How did you find out about the audition process?
Well, a family friend, he goes by the name of Larry Dotson Jr. He called me one day and he was like, Evvie, there's this new singing competition show called The Four. Now, I know you don't do singing competitions, but I think you might want to send a video in for this one. It's the first season. It's brand new. So this will be a really good thing for you to do. And I was like, Larry, I don't know. You know how they do on these competition shows. They kind of already have who they want to win. And I just didn't know. I didn't know if I wanted to take myself through that. I had auditioned for American Idol, X Factor, The Voice, and I've always got to know. Always got to know.
So that was going to be one of my questions. Like, was this your first attempt ever to audition to any kind of TV shows? Wow. So you've done this several times.
Yes, several times.
So here's my thing. How did you be like, all right, I'm going to try this again? Because anybody would be like, you know what? I give up. This is not working for me. Like, what made you be like, you know what? I'm going to go for it again?
Well, I'm a woman of faith, and I believe that everything happens for a reason. And Larry Dotson hadn't contacted me ever since I had moved from Memphis that year. And I was just like, okay, maybe this is something that I really should do, especially because this is the first season.
Right.
I get to sing in front of Diddy, Meghan Trainor, DJ Khaled. I was like, man, this might be something for me to look into. And so I went ahead on and sent my video in that day. And well, first of all, let me take you back. He called me and told me, audition for this show. I was like, no, but he hooked me up with the executive producer of the show. Well, one of the executive producers of the show. And she talked to me, Nicole Marion, she talked to me, and she just gave me a full rundown of the show, the concept of the show, how I will be a challenger coming in to challenge one of the four. And I said, okay, I kind of like this show. It's basically you fighting, you proving that you deserve to win. And it was so crazy because about 2 months later, I hadn't heard from the producer. So I was like, okay, I didn't make it. This was one of those little auditions where you send in a video, they don't look at your stuff. But she contacted me. She emailed me back by mistake, responding to that video 2 months later. And I was like, okay.
Wait, what do you mean by mistake? Like, she didn't mean to
email
you?
Didn't mean to. She didn't mean to. So her email within the next 2 months was basically saying, oh my goodness, I did not get this at all. I did not get it. And I was like, oh my goodness, first of all, I can't even believe that you responded 2 months later.
Right.
And then she asked me, she said, well, since I saw your email now and it's been it's been so long, do you have anything you want to send in? I didn't even respond to the email. I turned my camera on, I put my makeup on, and I recorded 3 audition videos of me singing cover tunes. And the next morning, she texted me and she was like, you are amazing. She said, I will be presenting you to the executive producers of the show tomorrow. And I was like, oh my goodness.
Just like that.
Just like that. And then probably about a week and a half later, they sent me a flight ticket to audition in front of the executive producers in person. And after that, I left. I went back home. I was praying so much because I was like, Lord, you brought me this far. They done sent me a ticket to Hollywood. I'm auditioning now.
Was that your first time in Hollywood?
No.
Okay.
No. But after that, I was just praying that whole week at home. I was praying. My family was praying. My mama and my grandma definitely were praying. And my producer that they had assigned me was Grant Greeley. He contacted me and he was like, Evvie, we want you to come to Hollywood. We want you to audition on the show. And when I got that message, I was just like, thank you, Jesus, because at this point in my career, at that point, I was on tour. And I was just hustling, always hustling, singing backup to make money all over the world. And that's how I would pay my bills as young as I am. I did not go to college. And I was just like, I have to do something. But the 4 really made my life just so much, just completely different from what I was used to. I sang all the time. I traveled and toured all the time. I'm about that life. But being in front of the camera and on tour, being in front of the camera, being on national television, first of all, being on national television, I was just like, this is something completely different. The rehearsals, the blocking, the makeup, the everything, the hours of recording the show, all of that was just so new to me. But yeah.
So how was the audition process? Were you nervous? Like, how many steps? Because I know for American Idol, it's like 7 different levels. Like, you got to audition like 10 times.
Yeah.
How was it for that?
Well, for me, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure about like how everybody else does their audition. But I auditioned, I sent in my video, and then they sent me a ticket and I had to audition in person. But those were my two. So it's just those two things for me. And I think it was, well, of course it was, because Jesus is my Lord and Savior. But when I auditioned for The Voice and X Factor and American Idol, the process was like, it was multiple processes that you had to go through, multiple people that you had to audition in front of, like you said, 7 or 8. But for the 4, I had to just, my main audition to really get me on the show was the audition in person. So I was extremely nervous because I wanted them to put me on the show, and I didn't know. I was, I'm black. I'm a black female, young female artist. And, being black and saying I want to do music and I want to sing, on TV, sometimes you just don't know. You just don't know what will happen. You just don't know. So I was extremely nervous. I didn't know what they were looking for.
Right.
I just knew what I had and what I've been doing all my life. And so I went in that room and I did exactly what I've been doing my whole life.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. So how did you feel when you found out you got selected? Like, where were you? Like, did you get the phone call? Like, was it right there on the spot after the audition?
So I was back in Memphis. I had left my audition in person, and I went back home, and I was home for about 5 days. And the producer, Grant Greeley, called me. He called me, and he said, Evvie, we want you to come and audition on the show. And I was just screaming up and down because I was really at a point where I was like, this really is make or break for not only my life, but for my career.
Absolutely.
So,
So how was it like performing in front of such big heavy hitters, the Diddy's and the Meghan Trainor? And
performing it, well, I'm going to just say specifically when I walked on that stage and saw Diddy sitting right there with the rest of the panel, I was just like, oh my goodness, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And so I just really got in my zone, and I was like, Evvie, it's too late for you to back down now. Like, you have to get on the stage and not only show these people that you can sing, but you have to perform for your life. And so he really, just being on that stage in front of Diddy and Meghan Trainor and DJ Khaled, it just gave me the motivation to just do things I've never done before, go to great lengths to save my life. And that's why I love the 4 and why God put me on that show, because it was the concept was so real. And it's like, in reality, that's really how it is. If you're not doing your part, it is very easy for somebody who does love what they do to come in and steal your place. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So it's safe to say that Diddy's was your favorite
judge? Yes. Well, they all are my favorites, but Diddy, you just cannot not love Diddy. You see what I'm saying?
I know. He's a businessman. He's been about his business. He's been in the game for years. So has the other judges as well. But I get it. Come on, Biggie, his track list is phenomenal.
Yeah.
What was the best advice any of the judges gave you?
Diddy told me when I first got my seat on the 4, he said, I asked him, I said, Diddy, is there anything you want to tell me? Any advice you want to tell me for next week, which was the following week was going to be the finale show? And I had asked him if he had any advice for me, and he said, Evvie, don't get too comfortable. Don't get too comfortable.
And I feel like that's just with life, period.
Yes.
You know, you can't get too comfortable because the minute you become comfortable, that's it. It's just like a plateau.
Yes.
You're not moving. You know, you're like, all right, I'm content with where I'm at in life.
Yeah.
So that's great advice.
Yeah, he told me don't get too comfortable. And in all of my interviews and everywhere I go, all the people I talk to, I let them know how important it is to not get too comfortable because this business is the most unpredictable business of them all. You never know what's going to happen. You never know when your next show is, who you're going to be talking to when your next interview. But just even with the music and charting and releasing music, I just released my new single, How Do You Feel? Even with that, this is just a business where you cannot get comfortable. You cannot, for your own sake, don't get comfortable. Because when you get too comfortable, it's almost like putting your own self in a box and limiting your own abilities and your own skills and talents. So when he told me that, it really clicked. It clicked automatically. And it was just like, this next show, you really have to just go out here and perform for your life. Do things that you've never done before.
Yes, I love that. So how do you feel about your new single? When are we going to expect the music video? We're ready. We're ready.
The music video and everything, all of that is in the works right now. But how do you feel? Oh, my goodness, my very first single that I've released in life, period. Oh, how do you feel? It's so near and dear to my heart, not only just because it's my first single, but because it's a ballad. And a lot of people don't release ballads as their first single. And me being 21, I recorded the song. And let me just tell you, the song was written years and years and years ago. And I listened to the demo of the song and I was just like, I can sing the mess out of this song with all my pain and passion, especially because I just went through this like not even a year ago. I really love that song, and it really made me cry the first time I listened to it. And I wanted my single to be something that not only people could listen to, but something that people could resonate with and something that people could understand and feel. I wanted a song that moved on people. Like when you hear this, you automatically get chill bumps from your arm going down to your legs. Like I wanted something like that. And how do you feel? When I was recording this song, I was in the booth like crying and I was bawling because I really wanted how I felt to get through, and I wanted people to listen to it.
Yeah. I love the passion. And I can hear the passion when you were singing it. And I heard, like, when I was listening to your single, it sounds like it was influenced by gospel as well. Yeah. Like, it's just beautiful.
Well, the gospel is going to be in all of my songs, no matter what I sing. Soul music is going to be in everything that I do. But yeah.
Would you ever do a gospel album?
Of course, Lord's willing. Later down the line, I have to do a gospel album.
Okay, I see that. I see that. I think you'll kill that for sure.
Thank you.
So, would you like to collab with anyone, like maybe like Diddy?
Yes. Well, Diddy actually produced. He produced How Do You Feel?
What?
Yes, he produced How Do You Feel? And that was an amazing experience. I mean, being in the same room with him alone is amazing, but him being in a session with you is just like...
How's that? Explain.
Mind-blowing.
I want to know.
It is mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing because for somebody like P.Diddy with so much clout, and he is the expert of hip-hop. He is the music mogul of hip-hop, of music, period. And for him to be in the room with me and to just talk to me and give advice to me, it's just something that not a lot of people get. Not a lot of people, but legends get. And just being with him, you see people like Nas and Mary J. Blige and Naomi Campbell and Snoop Dogg. I went in a session with him and Snoop Dogg was just sitting at the table in my session. And I was just like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And every single interview, every session, everybody I've met has always just been a once in a lifetime type thing because I'm just so blessed. I am so blessed. God has me on this. I call it a miracle journey. I call it a miracle journey because where I came from, you wouldn't think that I would be here today, but I am.
And what makes you say that? What happened? What's going on? Like,
I mean, well, I grew up in the hood. My whole family is from Orange Mound, Memphis, Tennessee. Orange Mound, Tennessee. But I grew up in North Memphis. And, I'm the youngest of 7. My mom, I just saw my mom work day in and day out for us to provide for us. And just always being around gangs and drugs and just so much that would bring you down. My mother and my father always instilled in me, keep God the center of your life, keep him first. And you just never, you have so many people in your community that'll just look at you and say, oh, she not gonna be nothing. She got big dreams, but she not going nowhere. Yeah. But my mom, my family, it was the love that really kept me grounded, and the love of God and the grace and the mercy that he had with me and my family that kept me going. I always would think, I don't know why I love music so much. I don't know why I keep going on these tours out the country, and I'm just 18 and 19 years old, but God had always had music in my heart where I felt like it was going to happen for me. Nothing, no matter what lengths, no matter what I went through, no matter how bad the storm was, no matter how bad it rained on my parade, I always, for some reason, just said, I'm gonna make it. I will not give up on myself, because once I get too comfortable with myself, nothing will happen. And I don't want nothing to happen for my life. I want things to move, not just for me, but for my family, for my brothers and my sisters, and for my mom. And my father passed away when I was a little girl. But, I want things to happen for my city, because it's so many young Black women like me. It's so many of us that have so many talents, and we're blessed with so many gifts that God has given us specifically, individually. And it's always because we still in the hood, where we feel like, we gonna be here forever. You're not gonna be there forever. You really not gonna be there forever. It is your faith. It is you that really put the limit on your life. The sky is not the limit. Your mind is your own limit. Yeah.
Yes, you better preach. You better preach. Yes. And all that is facts. All that is facts, because people tend to put limits on themselves because of fear.
Yes.
They're like, fear is your biggest thing that can hold you back, you know? And they're worried about what other people are going to think about them, or not being able to complete their goals. Yes. And it's just like, you got to get it together, have faith, believe in yourself. Believe. You
gotta believe.
And know that the Lord got your back.
Because he does.
Absolutely.
And I think honestly, because of the world we live in, it's always about the self. It's about, taking selfies, and we post pictures so that other people can see them. And we do things now in my generation, we do a lot for other people.
Yes.
But just going back to when the world was even created, when any of us were even created, each and every single one of us were individually designed by the Lord himself. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we forget who God is, and we forget what he's going to do in our lives, and we forget the purpose that he's already given us before we even knew our names, what he had, what the destiny that he had already given us. And honestly, looking back, that is what kept me going. That's what kept me going. And being so young, you go to church, you hear your mom and your father tell you who Jesus is, and you hear them talk about him, but you don't really understand fully until you get in that moment in your life where you really are this is make or break. This is my breaking point, where your account is in the negative by hundreds of dollars, where you can't pay your car insurance, you can't pay your car note, car about to get repoed. God put you in that position so that he can bring you out, but he has to take you to limits like that. Mm-hmm. And my family, my mom, we've all been in links like that. But if it were not for those times where I am right now, I would not appreciate what it feels like to meet somebody like Diddy, and what it feels like to work with Meghan Trainor and write songs with I've written songs with pop star Meghan Trainor, and I think about stuff like that, and I'm blowing my own mind, because it's like God is using me in my story for my good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow, that's amazing and very powerful.
Thank you.
I respect that. I
Thank
respect
you.
you. That's
Thank you.
beautiful.
Oh, since forever. I don't even know if I have any particular age when I say this is when I started. But I guess I'll probably, if I had to think, maybe like 2 or 3. I was really young, and I just, ever since I could remember, I've just always loved to sing. Always.
So who would you say is your biggest supporter?
My biggest supporter? Oh, I got so many. My family, I'm the youngest of 7. So, and I have 4 brothers and 2 sisters. They are my biggest support system. My mama, my grandma, they are all my biggest support system. My church family, my whole city, to be honest, everybody who knows me has always supported me. And for the fact that I've always just stayed true, and I've always stayed on the same path since I was a little girl. I've always known I would be a huge superstar one day, Lord's willing. And God willing, whenever God says that I'm ready, I'm gonna be ready. And the 4, when I got on the 4, I think that was the time in my life when I really came to my senses, and I said, okay, Jesus, this is what you got for me. This is the start of something amazing.
Have you ever doubt yourself throughout the career, pursuing your career? Have you ever had doubt? Like, you know what? This isn't for me, or I don't want to do this anymore.
Yes. I have had, I've been faced with so much doubt, so much temptation to just say, you know what? I'm going to give up. I'm going to go to college, and I'm going to just do something that's just gonna pay the bills.
Boo!
But exactly. But I think every time I got to that point, God always just said, you know, you feeling like this now, but that's just not you. That's really just not you. And sometimes doubt can really get you to a point where where giving up really is your only option, because the devil is on you so tough, and he's telling you how you're not gonna make it, and everything you do. Like when I did audition for American Idol and The Voice, I kept getting no. I kept getting no every single time. I auditioned for these shows probably about 9 times.
Wow.
A lot. I mean, and I just kept getting no. And I would do the same thing. I would go up doing Aretha Franklin, Tina Turner. I would sing Respect and all of that. And I would always get no. They would say, you are too young to be singing all that soul music. You're too young to be so old. You're too young for that. But when I got on the 4, I did the same thing. I did the same thing, Tina Turner and Aretha Franklin. And it's so crazy, because when you get on these shows, they kind of already have an outline of what they want you to sing. But it was just God on my side. He had people to pull for me. And yeah. Did I answer your question?
I don't even remember what I asked.
Doubt.
Oh,
let
doubt.
me see.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to think of.
I got so caught up in your answer.
I'm gonna try to think. Yes, I've been faced with doubt. Doubt has looked me in my face, stared me down, and said, this is too hard for you. You're not strong enough for this. It's all of the being a black woman in the industry. Girl. You're going to have sex with people, and you're going to have to do this. But God didn't do that. He made a way for me.
Yeah. He
made a way for me. And I feel like, honestly, he made the 4 just for Evvie. And not just because, you know, I came in on the 5th episode, but because of what I've been through in my life and being on this journey in my life, going from Memphis, Tennessee, touring all over the world, singing backup for people like Bobby Rush and William Bell. I mean, you probably don't know them, but these are Southern legends who have sang the blues since they were my age. But God really made a way for me. And for some reason, although doubt told me that I was not going to make it, I always wanted to be bigger than my fear. I always wanted to be bigger than people who said I'm not going to be nothing. people would tell me, you're dreaming too big. You really need to do this. You need a plan B. You need a plan C. I've always felt like if I tell myself I need a plan B, then that means I don't believe in my plan A. And if I don't believe in my plan A, then that means I'm going to need a plan B. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I've always believed in myself. I've always believed in it. And the reason why I've believed in my music more than anything in the world was simply because I've always done it. I've always done it. It is me, my music. This is just who I am. This is just who I am.
How did you get those opportunities to go on tour so young?
Jesus. I mean, I looked for work. And I had to look for work because unlike my other classmates who went to college, I didn't go to college. When I graduated from college, 2 days after my graduation, I moved to New York City with my brother, Gideon Luke. And I started touring around the world with his band, Gideon Luke and the People. And we would sing funk and soul and rock music. And we would sell out all the festivals, the Lilac festivals, all the festivals up north in New York City and Asbury Park. We went to London, just all over. And within that time, I met so many amazing people behind the scenes who were in charge of different tours. But to answer your question, I looked for work. I looked for it. And when you look for it, when you don't get too comfortable and when you look for it, it will come to you. That's what God wants you to do. Just like how he wants you to look for him. Look for your work. Look for things that you want to do. Look for a way to pay your bills. If you don't want to work a regular job, then look for a different way out.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree. A lot of people be like, well, why does it not happen? You got to do the work.
You have to do the work.
You know what I'm saying? Like, God is going to guide you and help you, but you got to do something.
Yes, you have to do your part. And a lot of times we wait. We sit back and we say, okay, well, I'm going to wait and see what happens. I'm going to wait and see if something comes to me. I was always looking for a gig. I was always calling somebody to look for a gig. And before I got on the floor, it was just so amazing how it worked out in my favor. The first time I had been canceled on the tour, I'd already been on the tour, but he had called me, the director, Boo Mitchell, he called me. He said, Evvie, we can't have you back on this tour. We can't have you. We can't afford you. And that same day was the day when Nicole Marion, the executive producer of Fox, she emailed me. That was the same day she emailed me. And I was like, okay, I see, Lord, you gonna close the door and open another one just like that. Yes. And I really, and it really is because I looked for it. I was looking for another way out.
I love that.
Yeah.
What else do you have? Like any new dreams that you want to accomplish or?
Well, soon, Lord's willing, I'm in the works right now recording my album, and my album is going to be so good. But I guess my biggest dream is to just reach young people and people my age, people all over the world who don't know Jesus, and to just tell them my story and to just motivate them and inspire them to get up and look. Because once you get up and look, and once you get up and say, you know what, I'm not just going to wait for nobody to do something for me. I'm going to do something for myself right now while I have the time. I want people to just get up and go. Just get up and go.
You're on the right show, because this is what this show is all about.
Yes.
Inspiring and motivating and telling your journey to young women who aspire to be, just like you.
Yes.
Do you have any tips or advice for, young inspiring artists? I know you mentioned not to be comfortable, but is there anything else that you'd like to let them know?
Oh, I would say work harder than anybody that is on your team. And I'm not talking about physically. Work harder mentally. Because this industry really will tear you apart. It will rip you apart. It's so many demons and so many people that will tell you so many different things and pull you so many different ways. But stay grounded. Keep God the center of your life, because God is the one that is speaking for you in these meetings when you're not there. He's speaking for you on behalf of He's speaking on behalf of you. And talk to him. Please keep your relationship open with him. That is the most important thing I've done in my whole life, was talk to God. And I'm a sinner just like everybody else that was born. We all are sinners, but God does not, he just does not. He don't get with that. He gets with who he made you. And he made you the way he made you, for his glory and for him alone. And so I would just say, look deeper, seek God. And when you seek God, it's so many blessings that will come to you, because I cannot tell you how I've been praying. I've always prayed since I was a little girl, and I've always taken big dreams to him. Dreams of having, it may seem very, selfish, or it may seem a little, crazy, but when I had 5,000 followers on my Instagram, I will never forget this day. And I was like, maybe this is wrong to ask God for followers. But I said, Lord, please, I want to have that blue check mark by my name. I want to have thousands of followers who will follow me. And look at me now. I am at 236,000 followers on Instagram. And to some people who have millions, that may not seem like nothing. But to me, I am so grateful and so blessed to have my followers. So I would just say again, keep God the center. And for that reason, when you keep him the center, nothing and nobody can keep you away from him. Anything that you do in your life, you will always stem back to God. No matter where you go, no matter who you meet, no matter what song you sing, it will always stem back to Jesus Christ. And that is who I stand for, not just because he is God, but I stand with him because of the things that he's done in my life, girl. I cannot tell you, this is my miracle journey. This is really my story. And nobody can tell this story the way I can. But I will tell you, in all honesty, God is the reason why I am here today, and I will never not give him the credit. I'm not taking the credit for it. He is using me, and he's using me because I talk to him. I didn't have thousands of dollars. I didn't have no money, basically. I was always going and going and going. But one thing that stayed the same was that I kept God center of my life. And I will always keep him center of my life. In Jesus' name. Yeah.
Yes. I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
How do you deal with haters? Do you let, like, let's say, I'm sure people write negative comments
all the time.
Do you let it get into your head? Like, I hate to bring up the whole Cardi B and Nicki Minaj situation, but like, obviously, there's some hate in between it. Someone said a comment and then she took it to the next level, and she reacted by trying to fight. You know what I'm saying? So how do you keep yourself grounded and not clapping back and dealing with that? I learned this the hard way, because when I first started rising and when people really started following me, I would read almost every little comment, because I just wanted so badly for people to like me. And I wanted so bad for people to say, oh my, you're so beautiful, you're so this and you're so that. But at the end of the day, you just cannot, you cannot please everybody. And it has nothing to do with you. It's just people grow up differently and they see things differently. Yes. And you have to learn. I had to learn that every action does not require a reaction from you. People are going to say mean, evil, stupid things. And most of the things are going to be everything about me has just been like lies. But you look at this stuff and you just like, this is another day. Haters gonna hate, but lovers are always gonna love as well. So it's really just what you decide to focus your energy on. And I had to learn that who I stand for and who I am. I'm not somebody where I want to please everybody. That's not why I'm here. I can't please everybody. Right.
So I had to learn just stay focused on who you are and what you are doing, because people are going to talk all the time. People are going to hate on you. And sometimes I learned that you don't even have to have anything for somebody to just look at you and say, I don't like her. And they don't even know you. Yeah. They don't even know you. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, you cannot make somebody like you. And at this point in my life, seeing how much God is blessing me, I don't want to make nobody like me. The people who do like me and love me, I thank God for those. And people who don't like me, I thank God for those too, because they keep me going and they keep me motivated and they keep me inspired. And they really just give me that extra. You know you got to do it 10 times harder than what you were going to do it before.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that you use that as motivation instead of being like, oh, why me? Being a victim and feeling attacked. You're like, all right, let me show you something real quick.
Yes.
And I'm going to give you a reason to hate.
Exactly. I'm going to give you a reason to hate. I'm going to give you a reason to hate me even worse but just now, since you said something and you think I'm the way you think I am, I'm gonna really show you who I really am.
Yes, I love. So what's next? When is your album dropping? Can you guys have a date yet or what?
The date is still in the works, but honestly, if I were to drop an album right now, I think all the songs that I've recorded right now would be a good lump of amazingness, and it'll be something that young people especially would listen to and just be like, she's a new young artist, but this girl is really speaking and spitting knowledge. So
music with substance, my favorite.
Yes. I mean, my music has a lot of substance.
I love it. Any features that we're gonna be, or is this a secret? Hush hush. Tell me something.
Well, I mean, Meghan Trainor is featuring on one of my songs. Well, she's singing backup. She wrote 2 songs with me. And for me to be a writer on a song that she also co-wrote, is just something that I take it. It's so adorable to me because before the 4, I listened to her Thank You album all the time. And to be an artist that she worked with and that she loves, and she would love to tour with me. And I'm just like, Lord, I don't know what you have for me. I don't know who, but whatever, Lord, I'm thankful for it and I'm grateful for it. But my album will be probably the most lit album of 2018. Yeah.
Let's speak that into existence.
Yes.
I live. Yes. Well, I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show. You are amazing spirit. I feel your energy. It's great. You're going to go far with that energy, and you're talented.
Yes.
Do your thing, girl. And how can we find you on social media or websites or whatever? Drop yourself. Plug yourself, girl.
Yes. You can follow me on my Instagram and my Twitter at Evvie, EVVIE _music. And you can follow me on my Facebook at Evvie McKinney. Please follow me. I'm always posting. If you ever need spiritual encouragement, anything, follow me. Yes, follow me. Please be on the lookout for my album. Also, I just released my very first single, How Do You Feel? It is available on all platforms. Please make sure you go and listen to that right now. You will not regret it. I promise you won't.
Thank you guys for tuning to It's the Session. I'm your host, Michelle Nicole Charles. Make sure you follow me at MICHE11ENICOLE. And feel free to follow It's the Sessions page as well at ITS_THESESSION. Take care, guys.